Welcome back to Podcaster, PODCASTRR. We are the online source, the radio station, podcaster.fm, that is all about podcast 24/7. My name is Brad Hildebrand. A lot of talk lately about getting rid of gas appliances, and heard some people say it's not going to be that expensive. Well, who do we call? The guy who knows how expensive it is to convert everything to electric, Caleb Hunter from Extreme Electrical. Here's the interview with Caleb. Caleb Hunter, one of the owners of Extreme Electrical, correct?
Yes, sir.
You know this controversy that's been lately. They talk about they're going to outlaw. First, they talk about they're going to outlaw gas stoves. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay. So yesterday I'm listening to NPR, the KWMU radio station in St. Louis. I got this lady on from Chicago, or I don't know where she's from. She's an expert on this. And they're talking about retrofitting houses. They're talking about, well, most of the big cities are going to put into an act that you can't build a new house with gas appliances anymore. It has to be all electric. And there would be a window where you have to retrofit your house and take out the gas appliances and put in all electric appliances. Now, and she says, it doesn't cost that much to retrofit a house. Caleb, you're the electric contractor. Let's say I had an older house. Let's say it only had a 100 amp box, and I had a gas stove, a gas dryer, and a gas water heater, and I had to convert them all to electric. Could I do that with a 100 amp box, or would I have to have a whole new system put in?
Depends on the house, but most likely not. So yeah, you would have to upgrade that for sure.
So you're talking about completely having to redo the electrical system in a house.
Oh yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah, that'd be tons of money.
like let's pick a house. You're all over St. Charles County. You're all over the entire St. Louis area. An average house, if someone calls you up and say let's say they got an older house that has a 100 amp box and they want to upgrade to a 200 amp box, what's the normal cost for that?
Oh man, it could be. It depends on the circumstances. I mean, it could be $1,500 to $5,000. I mean, it really depends on how it's set up. But so let me take this for instance. If you had a 2,000 square foot ranch house,
okay,
you have all electric heat,
right? Electric
water heater, electric stoves, and everything. A 200 amp panel will most likely not even cover that.
Really? So, and aren't most houses now, the new houses, aren't they usually built with 200 amp panels?
Yeah, because they're gas.
Right. So, in other words, you're saying even a modern 200 amp panel wouldn't handle all that?
It'd be completely 100% maxed out.
No kidding. So,
like my house, I have a 320 amp service, which is basically two 200 amp panels, because that's how my house is, 100% electric.
Right. You don't have any gas or anything at all. But,
nope.
Okay, now you put the panel in, but then what's it cost? And I know this varies from house to house, but if you had to give an average, if someone says to you, hey, Caleb, I've got a big electrical panel. I've got a 320 amp panel, but I'm getting rid of my gas stove. How much is it going to cost for you to run an outlet, a 220 or 240 outlet into my kitchen? What would be the average charge for that?
Well, for a range, I mean, it depends on length, distances, how the stove is set up. But I don't know. I would say $1,000 to $1,500.
So if someone had like a relatively large house and they had like a small panel, like a 200 amp panel, they want to go all electric, it would be up to $5,000, and that doesn't include the new electric. Or does that include the new electric feed to the range and the hotter water?
No.
So
nope.
So we're talking maybe $6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
Oh yeah. Well, then you got to take into account all the electric car chargers going in. So we're having to change services just because they're doing that, because those things pull 100 amps by themselves.
Right. And that's the other thing we're talking about, the fact that if you had, like, let's say you went all electric, you had an electric house, all electric appliance, and you had an electric car, you'd have to have like a big old monster panel, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Even if you do the panel, the power grid could not support all electric everything.
See, that's what
It can barely keep up now with what we have.
See, that's what I keep saying.
If you get rid of all the gas appliances, you're going to double, triple the power grid. There's no way.
And I've talked about this before. Ameren UE ain't building new plants, are they?
Well, they're not allowed to.
Right, exactly.
Government. Ameren wants to. Well, I was in a seminar recently within the last year, and there's a couple more coal plants of theirs scheduled to be shut down, I think, within the next 5 to 10 years. And they don't have any way to make that up.
Right. And they're not going to make it up with solar panels, because what people don't understand is solar panels to equal like the Portage de Sioux power plant out there in St. Charles County, you'd have to have a massive solar field.
Yeah, but if it's cloudy or nighttime or whatever, it's not going to work.
Right. There's no electricity coming out.
then the solar panels on homes are going to switch to batteries in your home. So at night they're going to use the batteries, and then during the day it's going to charge them.
Right.
Eventually that's what's going to happen.
So you're saying that right now, let's say everybody in Richmond Heights, okay, that's an older area. The houses there are probably, at least 50 years old. If all of a sudden everybody in Richmond Heights decided they're going to switch to all electric and have all electric car, chances are Ameren couldn't serve that area, that they would be overloaded.
Correct.
Wow. See, this is why I hear these people talk, getting an electric car. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know I'm not nearly in the league of you, but I know enough about electricity because of the fact that dealing with transmitters and things like that. Our offices have electric heat. And I've got 2 units. We don't run them all the time, but I've got two air handler units. And each one has an 80 amp breaker on it with big old monstrous, 4-gauge wire or something like that? Wouldn't that be about right?
Sounds about right.
And that stuff, how much is, off the top of your head, how much is 4-gauge wire a foot?
I can tell you here right now. So if you got number 4, just one single strand of wire.
Right.
And you need 3.
Right.
It's $1.12 per foot. So you multiply that times 3, and that's what it is a foot. Now, if you go with the Romex, like in your house, like let's say a range, for instance.
Right.
If you want a range, you're over $3 per foot for that wire.
And that's your cost, right?
That's my cost. That doesn't include taxes. That doesn't anything.
Right. That's just, so in other words, if you have to go
$4 a foot to buy the material.
Right. And then you installation, you put the breaker in, you put all the terminations on it, all that kind of stuff. So you're talking like if someone was going to, let's say from their box to their range would be 50 feet, that would be, what'd you say, $4 a foot? So that would be what? How many I can't do my math in my head. It would be $200 just for the wire, right?
Yep.
And that doesn't include the plug.
That's not taxes and markup either.
Right. And that doesn't include your guys coming out to install it.
Yep.
And you pay you guys what, $300 an hour?
Oh yeah.
So anyway, this lady's on NPR saying, it doesn't cost that much to get your house retrofitted. Maybe $1,000 or $1,500 to go all electric. I'm going like, what planet is she from? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think these people are just talking heads, and I don't know if they're trying to sell more gas ranges. So they say we're going to outlaw them, so everybody rushes in and buys them.
You know what? Maybe you're right. It's counterintuitive. They're saying people go, oh my God, we want to get my gas range right away because otherwise they're going to be illegal.
Well,
right?
That's what happens with guns. They come out, we're going to outlaw guns, and guess what happens? They sell more guns in the next year than they've ever sold in the history of our country.
Well, there was a time.
Same concept.
Right. And you and I, you're a gun guy, so am I. There was a time after the George Floyd riots where if you go to Cabela's, they actually had a sign on the door when you went in, sorry, no ammo. And they had no ammo. Everybody came in one night and bought everything in sight. It was crazy.
Yep.
It was crazy. Okay, Caleb. Hey, how's biz? You doing well? Everything going good?
Yep. Fantastic. It's going really well. Busy.
You fly Extreme Electrical, give a plug for your company?
You what?
Give a plug for your company. Get a plug for your company, Extreme Electrical. See, little joke there.
Yeah, that was good. No pun intended, right?
No pun intended. No. Phone number, web address, all that kind of good stuff.
Yep, 636-925-2988. And then the web at extremeelectricalstl.com.
So there you have it from the expert. They're talking about getting rid of gas appliances, switching to all electric, and how easy and inexpensive that's going to be. Well, not necessarily the case. Thank you, Caleb Hunter, for all the information. More podcasts are coming up right here on Podcaster, PODCASTRR, podcaster.com. We stream 24/7 at podcaster.fm.